Alright, so it's been a bit, but as it turns out, we are closing in on the end of Enigma 2. We only have one level left, called Patterns. Before that, there is one thing I'd like to briefly touch up on. So last time I played a puzzle called Tool Time, and if you'll recall, there was a moment while I was solving this puzzle which was sort of strange. Like I had to do something really hard, but I posited that there was probably a way to beat the puzzle without doing a aforementioned hard thing. Let's go ahead and remember how to get to that point. So we get the paintbrush, then I believe what's next is... we don't go in any of these places. I think we destroy this. Ah, right, we make our glasses too. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We don't actually need to make our glasses, but it just makes things easier. So we paint this, we get that, and we get our seed. And here is the deviation point. So last time I solved this, the issue was that there was a very large separation between this stone right here, which had pits surrounding it, which I couldn't figure out how to cross without an umbrella, and the pit on the floor underneath, which I also needed an umbrella to cross, and furthermore could only access once. And to do the trek, to travel all the way from the top to the bottom, especially with these obstacles in the way, it's quite a tall order. And I'm honestly surprised that I managed to get it on the first try when I was solving this puzzle last time. But I figured out the trick. So I was mostly on the right track. I just could do one little small thing better. And it's actually something which we've done before in this series, and that is abuse the destructive properties of the seeds. So last time we placed a seed in this box, and we just sort of used it to push a box onto this button and then roll it over a coin. And at the time I thought that was all it could do, but there's actually something more it can do if we place it on the grate. So as you can see, now we can get the box on the button, we can go ahead and get our coin, we can turn it into an umbrella to use whenever we want, we can take a bit to navigate back around to it. Alright, and now here's the fun part, is that with this little gap here, once we no longer need the coins, or the coins to have their door opened, we can go ahead and push this around. And it just looks a little something like this. Now, it is a little bit quirky to push this across, just because of the knights in the way, but without too much effort, we're able to push this over to here and push the box over the hole, and just like that, we now have a permanent bridge to this. And one other thing I noticed since last time was that this coin slot is the permanent type. It doesn't have a closing interval, so there's not even a time crunch for this one. So you don't really have to memorize anything. You can just solve all of the octets normally, and then save the one on the bottom for last, and then you don't even really have to, like, be careful about the memory game. So that's how you do that. And I'm pretty sure that's all I really want to cover about this. As you can see, it makes perfect sense now why this is a speed 1 and not a speed 5. So that's that mystery solved. And as you can see, I went and got part times again. I still haven't beaten Snowing, and I still haven't beat the Pentominoes, and I still haven't gotten the part time on this. This is really close to my ceiling of work I'd want to put into something. Anyways, so now we have one level left called Patterns. And wouldn't you know it, it's a Jacob Scott level. And let's read this level's stats real quick, because I saw some interesting stuff here. So, solved percent is modestly low. It has intelligence 5, which is scary. Dexterity 3 and speed 3, also scary. Patience 4. I wouldn't say that's too scary. We sort of know what Patience 4 levels look like. Usually Patience 4 just means it's a level where you do a lot of inputs. And then Knowledge 4, evidently this level isn't supposed to be super complicated, but let's go here. So Patterns by Jacob Scott. First experiment, are these random? Up, left, left, down, right. Okay, so these are all the same. And I see. So I have a paint document prepared for this one. This very well could be a one-episode deal. Or, well, honestly, I was sort of expecting this to be the only real thing I cover in this episode. But it looks like we have a sequence, and we need to understand it and then continue it. So, up, left, left, down, right, up, right, left, right, up, right, down, left, left, up, left, left, down, right, up, right, down, left, left, left. Alright, certainly interesting. So we've got to figure out what's driving this sequence. We could try some sort of numerical evaluation. We could try to look at where certain elements appear. So let's start with the ups. So the ups appear at 1 or 0. So 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, uncertain from that point on. Alright, seems like a pretty irregular pattern. How about the lefts? So we've got a double of lefts here. Yep. Okay, well, let's think about like how this pattern could be laid out. So it is a straight line sequence. So I think that at the very least we can safely assume that there's some sort of natural progression going on here. What is less certain right now is like why it's so irregular. The fact that this is speed 3 and dex 3 is slightly scary to me. I see some stuff over there, but that looks like a second sequence for after we've solved this first one. So, guess I'll go ahead and do my standard secret check. Doesn't look like we have anything interesting around here. Alright, just had to check. So, how could this sequence be laid out? There's several different ways that a sequence can work. This could be the type of sequence where every entry in the sequence is independently calculated. Like, all you need to know is the index in order to figure out what the result would be. Another option is that each of the elements is dependent on the previous one, or the ones like before or after, or it could be that certain sets of them have to meet some sort of requirement. I don't think that's going to be the case, since this is just a straight line, and we can actually sort of see later in the puzzle that there's going to be a sequence which apparently deals with things in triplets. So we can probably be slightly more assured that certain types of patterns won't be applicable to this first one. But each one being the progression of the ones before it does seem like it makes sense to me. So we start with up, and then this one just seems to do nothing with this one. Trying to think. So let's say that this is... I have an idea. I'm wondering if this is a Fibonacci sequence. So let's say that this is 0, this is 1, and this is 1. Then 1 plus 1 would equal 2. 1 plus 2 would equal 3. 2 plus 3 would equal 5. And that does sort of run into a hitch right here. Because even if we were going like mod 4 logic, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, 2 plus 3 equals 5. This would be facing left if that were what was going on here. So I think we can be relatively assured that it's not a Fibonacci sequence thing. At the very least, not in the typical sense. Just going to double check with myself. Yeah, that seems about right. So, another thing which interests me here is this straight shot of left pieces. It's just curious. And there's also like an alternating right up, right. Lots of interesting things in this sequence. So there's a large gap in lefts from here to here. The gap is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 long. What could be going on here? My puppy's in the room, making strange sounds. Not sure if they're being caught on recording or not. Anyways, back to this. So if it's not a Fibonacci sequence where it's based on the one directly preceding it, maybe it's a look and say sequence? Like, not sure if that would actually be applicable here, but a look and say sequence is, if you'd start with like, just say the number 1, then you would say out loud there's like 1, 1, and then that would get you 11, which is just 2 ones strung together. And then you would progress that by saying that there were 2 ones. So your next number would be 2, 1. And then you would progress on that by saying there's 1, 2, 1, 1. And that's sort of how that sequence progresses, to give you an idea of what a look and say sequence is. I am pretty familiar with some interesting mathematical sequences, but I'm not a mathematician by trade, so my knowledge is spotty at best. And again, there still remains the issue of what numbers we would even assign to this sequence. I don't think it's a look and say sequence just because trying to think. Just because the wow, I'm really bad at formulating my thoughts right now. I guess we could technically express it. Like, the base doesn't really matter. It just requires, like, a good formatting. But, yeah, again, it remains unknown as of yet if these correspond to numerical values. It could even be that, like, different groupings of these different cells, like, correspond to singular values. Like, it could be sort of irregular. And it's not like they all cleanly progressed from the previous index. So things to keep in mind. Alright, I'll go on mute for a bit. One thing I do notice is that the ones facing right, they all seem to be at odd-numbered indices. That could just be a coincidence, so I'm not going to jump to any hasty conclusions in that regard just yet, but interesting nonetheless. I also note that the only one which seems to ever repeat is the left-facing ones. So there's a string of 2 lefts here, and then there's a string of 2 lefts here and here, and then over here there's a string of 3 lefts, and I don't think there's any other direct repeats in this sequence, which is interesting. Guess I might as well try to get some more information. If the elements themselves don't really get me anywhere, then let's try to focus on the size of the sequence and the size of the output sequence. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Interesting. And then we have 9 as our output. Okay, that's interesting. So 9 outputs with 27 inputs, that almost implies that It could be that we are in fact looking at groups of 3, and each group of 3 corresponds to a single one over here. So let's think about different ways we could try to do stuff with that. We could look at revisiting our mod 4 logic. So if we assume that the top is like 0, and right is 1, down is 2, and left is 3, then 0 plus 3 plus 3 is 6. So that would be 2, mod 4. So let's go ahead and turn this down. Alright, next in line we have down, right, up. So that's 2 plus 1 plus 0. So that's 3. So that's in place already. Right, left, right. So that would be 1 plus 3 plus 1. So that would be 1. So we figured out that one. Or, well, I say figured out as if I know that this is going to be correct, but just spitballing. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. 0 plus 1 plus 2 is 3. So let's go ahead and, well, that's correct as well. All right. 3 plus 3 plus 0, so that's going to be 2 again. Then 3 plus 3 plus 2, that's 8, so this would be 0. Then 1 plus 0 plus 1, that would be 2. Then 0 plus 1 plus 2, that would be 3, which is already in place. Then 3 plus 3 plus 3 would be 9, which is equivalent to 1. So we would do this. Not a solution. That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and I guess try to cycle through all of them just in case the idea is correct, but what I labeled things with was wrong. You never know. So that's 1 cycle. That's 2 cycles. If this one doesn't work, then we'll know that the foundational idea was flawed. Okay, so it's something else. Well, that's good to know. Still the same pattern every time, so no need to worry about that. One other sort of niche idea I had in mind just now was the idea of a super permutation. Basically, it's a string of different things, which, like, it sort of strings a bunch of different elements together with repeats, such that when you read from left to right, there's basically, like, every possible permutation of the elements used appears when read left to right at least once. So for example, if you had the elements 1, 2, and 3, then a super permutation would be like 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, something, something. But basically, like, every different like shuffling of 1, 2, and 3 could be found in that sequence. So maybe this is a super permutation with 4 different elements. I sort of have my doubts, but it's worth a shot nonetheless. So if that were the case, then, well, it sort of breaks apart already from the start because up, left, left, down There's not really any permutation going on there because of the repeat 2s. So, never mind, I guess. Another idea down the gutter. No progress, but I did let out a mighty sneeze off of a mic, so, hey, something happened. I'm starting to wonder if there's some sort of, like, symmetry thing going on here. Like, looking at different subsets of patterns here, there's things like the double lefts and this one in the middle being sort of symmetric, as well as having a down on both sides and a right on both sides and an up. Right, up, right, left, right, up, right. Right, up, right, down, left. So it's not perfectly symmetric. Could just be coincidence, but the symmetry is interesting. So up, left, down, right, up, right, left. Like, the ups seem to have the most symmetry around them. Like, this up has a right and a right on both sides. Same with this up. This up has lefts on both sides. This up has rights on both sides. Same here. The symmetry around the ups seems interesting. So, but there is also sort of like if there is symmetry, then there's also some flips going on, such as left, down, right, right up, right down. That doesn't, well, okay, actually no, because there is an up here. And if the ups are like the points of symmetry, then this is actually, well, actually, wait. I keep using the wrong indices to, like, use as my basis here, but using this up as the anchor, we've got left, down, right, left, down, right. Okay, I think I might be onto something with the symmetry of the ups here. So, let's try. There is an up at the start. However, there's not symmetry around this up, it seems. Like, it breaks down at a certain point. Like, a left and a down. That wouldn't normally be what's going on here, I think. Of course, in between this up and this up, right, left, right is symmetrical, but not sure that counts for much. I'll think about it a little bit more. I guess here's a question of sorts. Like, if there is asymmetry going on in between each of the ups, then what's going on when there's like an even number of elements versus an odd number of elements between them? Left, left, down, right, left, left, down, right. Like, it seems like I am onto something here. Like, this is the pattern that sticks out to me the most out of anything. And then up, right, down, left, left. And then there's another left here. Like, it's hard to tell, like, which symmetries have a higher priority than others. And I'm actually not even sure if this is like a circular sequence or not. That would add an interesting wrinkle. Like, huh. I'm trying to think about like what breaks the symmetry here. Because in this case, what breaks the symmetry is a down here and a left here. And then between here and here, it's again a left and a down. And then between here and here, left, left, down, right. That's fine at least. Then right, not much to write home about with that one. Then up, right, down, left, left. And then there's, instead of what I would think is an up here, it's a left instead. It's hard to tell, like, if there is supposed to be a symmetry going on here, like, which ones or ups, not ones, have more focus than others. Left, left, down, right. You could, I guess, interpret this little string here as a backwards left, left, down, right, but I'm not sure if that's very helpful. I'm going to just type this out in Paint real quick, just so that I can see the entire thing in one giant string instead of having to pan both screens in this really annoying fashion. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so I've written it down. I've tried to like separate all the different symmetries I noticed, as well as assign like a length to them. So like this one right here, this symmetry around these U's, that's 15 long. And it also the middle element I notice is this L here. Then for this 13, the middle element is this U. And then for this symmetry, actually it should be right here, not there. This might actually be mislabeled. Let's just double check. So how long is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that is 11 long. I just miscategorized this one here. So yeah, those are the different symmetries. This one is pointing to a right. So there's a left focus, a up focus, and a right focus symmetry. Which is certainly interesting. It makes me wonder if the next symmetry would focus around like this down here. I could believe it. But what this mainly reveals to me is that the symmetries are not where I thought they were. They're interesting in how they're laid out. Like, there are symmetries, but they have weird overlaps. And it just happens that the way they interact with the ups made me believe that the ups were like a focal point of the symmetries, when they might actually not be. But I am thinking that symmetry probably has something to do to solving this first sequence. So we have 9 inputs left to go. I would think it would make a modicum of sense, like since this sequence, since this symmetry ends right as this one begins, to maybe like try to build another symmetry using this as the starting point. Although I think I don't have enough elements to fill out the whole 9 that I have. Unless I were to like do something really wild and like build a symmetry that like, again, let's move this out of the way, like loops all the way back around to the start, like something like that. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, dogs made a mess. But what I was saying before, like maybe there's a symmetry which uses our 9 elements and connects from here all the way back around to where the other sequence ends, like right here. So some sort of mystery symmetrical sequence. It sounds interesting at the very least. Like, we have the endpoints. Maybe we could make something work here. So it would be like up, right, down, left, left, left. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mysteries. And then we have up, left, left, down, right, up, right, left. That doesn't seem very symmetrical to me. Yeah, it doesn't seem very symmetrical. That's unfortunate. It was a promising idea, at least. Back to thinking. Just sort of scrapped my previous notion of a giant loop. Just trying to see, like, if I were to try to create a symmetry around, like, where the previous one here ends, like, where would that end up? And I'm able to figure out, like, I am able to fill out a few things, but not a lot. Like, there's still the 3 mysteries in here. And ideally, they're symmetrical. Like, the outer ones are the same, probably. But that doesn't give me much of an indication as to what they might be. Like, if we go off the logic of, like, having the middle element be different from the surrounding elements, or, wrong thing to say, that the middle elements of each symmetry are different, and that would lead to this one being a down. Like, that fills out one more mystery, but doesn't feel very good or very provable. But I guess I could try it. So let's just try some different combinations of stuff, I guess, and see if it works. So I'll try to... I'm not sure if my window would be showing up in that circumstance. Gonna just shuffle things around real quick. Alright, so let's go over here. So... something like that. No opens yet. Let's say we point this down. And then just fill it out with whatever. Does not appear to have opened. So that plan is a bust. Well, it was worth a shot. Back to thinking. I'm getting to the point where, like, it's been a total hour and 23 minutes of recording time. I'll probably have edited it down heavily, since I want to say over half of that was just me staring at the screen and saying and doing nothing. I feel like I'm sort of in an Alien Glyphs 3 situation right now, where I want to just open up the level code and see what the solution is, to see if that, like, matches my mental model with anything. I sort of don't want to call it in after just, like, one short session, but also, because of the way that, like, video uploading and editing works for me, it wouldn't be easy for me to just, like, stop this recording session and then begin another one and then splice the two together. Like, I'd have to actually, like, get out my editing software for that, and I don't want to figure out how to use that. But if I end the episode here, then a whole lot of nothing will have occurred, basically. And I did have some interesting thoughts, but nothing which coalesces into a solution to this little door here. I wish I could figure out what its deal was, but for now, we remain stuck. I highly doubt the stuff on the right is relevant in any way. And I'm not sure what to make of this stuff over here either. Like, the symmetry stuff, it does seem extremely promising because there is a ton of symmetry to be found in my sequence. I just haven't figured out how to, like, figure out the where and why for why it works the way it does. And without knowing that, I can't really get anywhere or come up with any ideas for what a solution would even look like. So I guess that'll be it. See you next time.